Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining in today's reading of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Hari-bhakti-vilāsa, continuation from the previous recordings, and this is part 6. Before reading, Srila Sanatana Goswami, he was living between 1488 to 1558 AD, and he was a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya and a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the senior of the Six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And Hari-bhakti-vilāsa is a compilation of scriptural injunctions from various Vedic sources, consolidated to provide a structured path for devotees to integrate bhakti or devotional service into every aspect of their lives and deepen their eternal relationship with Lord Sri Krishna. ISKCON Desire Tree is a free online resource for devotees worldwide and the Multimedia social network, with a mission to spread Krishna consciousness as per the desire of His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder-Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by providing Vedic knowledge, teachings, and practices given by Vaishnava Acharyas. So the rights for all the content presented here are reserved by ISKCON Desire Tree, and we thank the ISKCON Desire Tree devotees for making this book available for us to read on the internet. Before starting the reading, we're going to offer our prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsya Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Aptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are starting or continuing Hari-bhakti-vilāsa from Vilasa 11. Sri Krishna Bhakti Sikchatu Sanjo Pashadikam Yadi Patet Karma Napatitya Dosha Senka Kadhanchana. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.7 Sri Vishnu Puran. If one's mind is attached to too much service to Lord Sri Krishna due to such circumstances, if someone forgets to chant his promised Gayatri mantra, although he is considered fallen, there is no diminishing in his advancement in spiritual life, or there is no fear of disadvancement. Srila Sanatana Goswami states in his Digdarshani Tika that certainly one has to chant his Gayatri mantra to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, if somebody forgets this, how can he worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead? No kinds of spiritual functions can be done by such persons. Therefore, it is written here, Krishna Bhakti, which means being enthusiastically attached to doing devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. And this nullifies all sins. In other words, because the devotee of Lord Sri Krishna is very enthusiastic to serve him, therefore no kind of sin of falling down is attached to him. Mat karma kurvatam pumsam kriyalopo bhaved yadi tesham karmani kurvanti Tishrak Kotya Maharshayah. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.8 Padma Purana, spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If some devotee, while doing so much service for me, forgets to chant the Gayatri mantra, then all of the spiritual activities of such a devotee of Lord Krishna are done by 30 million great sages. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:84, 37. Nyajitai sadhanaischa dana homa archanadikam kuryanna chedadho yati bhaktya kurvannapi dvijayatna siddhair nijay suddhair dravyair dhanyorchayet prabhum puja dravyani asaktas ched dadyat iksheta vachanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11:50-51. Agastya Samhita. O Brahmana, one should perform meritorious activities such as giving charity, performing sacrifices, worshipping the Supreme Lord with properly earned money. If it is not done so, if a person does such activities with money which was not earned properly, he goes to the lower planetary system and into the lower species. Therefore, such people are advised that they should earn money by proper means and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somebody is unable to do so, he should just watch the worship of the Supreme Lord or else give some ingredients according to his means for the worship of the Supreme Lord. When Srila Sanatana Goswami in his Digdarshini Tika says, O Brahmana, this signifies, O Sutakshana, anyone who is faithful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must earn wealth in proper ways and arrange for the worship of the Supreme Lord. Such a person is considered to be most fortunate. As it is mentioned here, Yatnat, if somebody is unable to earn money by proper ways, he should, according to his ability, give worshipable ingredients for the worship of the Supreme Lord. If he is unable to do even that, he should just watch the worship done for the Supreme Lord by a devotee of the Lord. Yatra kutrapi pratimam veda dharma samanvitam na pashyanti janagatva tedanja yamakinkaraihi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 10, 1163 Padma Purana, conversation between Lord Narayana and Narada Muni. Anywhere there is a deity established according to the proper inauguration process of Vedic instructions. If somebody does not go to see it, then he is certainly punished by Yamaraj and his messengers. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks in this regard, wherever it may be, whether the temple is difficult to reach or easy to reach, whether the Supreme Lord's deity is established according to the process stated in the religious Vedic scriptures and said by the Vedas, that if a deity is established, he must go and see him and worship him. Vishnum uddisya yat kinchit Vishnu bhaktaya diyate danam tad vimalam proktam kevalam moksha sadhanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1164 Skanda Purana. If anything is donated to a devotee of Lord Vishnu in the name of Lord Vishnu, that charity is said to be pure and the only solution for liberation. Pradbhyam pratichyate deva sakamena niveditam murdhna pratichyate dattam akamena dvijottamaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1171 Vishnu Dharmottara, 3rd Canto. O best of the Brahmanas, if somebody offers something to the Supreme Lord which is full of desires for personal gain, the Supreme Lord accepts his offering on his feet. But if someone offers something to the Supreme Lord without any material desires, then the Supreme Lord accepts it on his head. Upacharascha vividha Srimad Bhagavat Archane Sikhyadi Bhedena Tantrikair Vaishnavair Mataha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11:119 Vishnu Dharmottara. There are different ways to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the opinions of the learned personalities and the Vaishnavas, devotees. There are different means to worship the Lord according to an individual's means. Categories of worship. Asana swagate sarghe padyam achamaniyakam madhuparka achamana snana vasana abharananicha Sugandha Sumano Dhupa Deepa Naivedya Vandanam Prayojayet Archanagnam Upacharanastu Shodasha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 120, 121 Agama. There are 16 categories of worship which are a seat, welcome, arghya, padya, achamana, madhuparka, achamana, bathing, clothing, ornaments, perfumes or sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, ghee lamp, food, prayers. Argham cha padya achamana, madhuparka achamanyapi, gandhadayo nivedyanta, upachara dashakramat. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 122 Agama. Then there are 10 categories of worship which are arghya, padya, achamana, madhuparka, achamana, perfume or sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, ghee lamp, and food. Gandhadhibir nivedyantaihi puja pancha upachariki sadaryas trividha proktas tasam ekam samacharet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 123 Agama. Incense, flower, frankincense lamp, and food. These are 5 ways to worship. The worshipper should choose from 16, 10, or 5 ways of worship. Atotra alikhitam yadyat upachara adikam param sarvatattacha janiyal lokariti anusarataha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 142 Agama. Whatever further processes are not written here. According to the tradition of Vaishnavism, one should follow the system of worship of the Lord. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains in his Digdarshini Tika that there are further ways of worshipping the Lord which are not written in this book. Those are taking care of the Lord's hair before bathing him, putting on his clothes for bathing, offer him a seat for eating, and a fragrant drink after his eating, offer him betel nuts. These are daily activities to be done. Furthermore, giving him a bath with water mixed with sesame seeds on his birthday, offering newly harvested food grains to him first, etc. Furthermore, according to the traditional and social customs, following the learned personalities, worship can be done to the Lord. To remove cold in the winter season, the supply of warm clothes, heater, and in the summer season, offer cold drinks mixed with ice and cooling ingredients. In the winter season, offer heating ingredients like heater, warm clothes, warm drinks, and hot spicy foods. After eating, make a wonderful bed for his pleasure, rest. For his pleasure. Rest in summer. After eating, make a wonderful bed for his pleasure, rest. In summer, give an extended amount of rest, and in the winter, give him a less amount of rest. Because summer days are longer. All of the rules of the established acharyas should be followed. Eteshu cha upachareshu vit satya vivarjitam yad asampannam etesham manasatu prakalpayet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 147 from Tantra Shastra. Giving up miserliness. One should worship the Lord with the previously mentioned process of worship. If something is missing, then he should think in his mind and mentally worship with that ingredient. Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 26, 15. Ritu kalabhigamiya swadara niratasya sasada brahmachariha vigneyasan grihashrami ritu shodasayaminyas chatasras tasu garhita putrastasu apiyugmastu ayugma kanyaka smrtaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 156, 157, Skanda Purana and Padma Purana. Any grihastha who copulates with his own wife only when it is time for conception is called brahmachari or celibate. There are 16 nights for conception of the woman from the day of the discharge of menstruation. Among them, the first 4 nights are rejected and very much criticized by scripture. Of whatever days are left, on the even numbered days, one produces a son, and on the odd numbered days, one produces daughter. Na karma sadrisham jhanam, na karma sadrisham phalam, na karma sadrishas chago, na karma sadrisham tapaha, na karma sadrisham punyam, na karma sadrishi gatihi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.185 Adi Puran. There is no better meditation than the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no better result than worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no better renunciation than worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no more meritorious function than worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no ultimate destination other than to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pradishtita archanatyaja yavat jivam samarchayet varam pranasya vachyaga siraso vapi kartanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.266 Hayasirsha Pancharatra, spoken by Lord Hayagriva. Even if one has to give up his life or cut his head off, he should not give up the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his deity form for the rest of his life. Sri Purvo Narasingho Dvir, Jayad Uttarastu Saha, Trisapta Krutvo Japatas, Tu Mahabhaya Nivaranaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.273 Kurma Purana. If somebody chants the name of Sri Nrsingadev 21 times, by putting Sri before Nrsingadeva and chanting Jai Jai before repeating Nrsingadeva, Sri Nrsinga, Jai Jai Nrsinga. In other words, if somebody chants this 21 times, he becomes free from a great amount of danger and fear. Anichyapi dahati sprushto huta vaho yadha tatha dahati govinda nama vyajat apiritam. Nama vyajat apiritam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.328 Padma Purana, spoken by Narada Muni. Just as if a person unknowingly touches fire, it certainly burns. Similarly, if someone can be tricked into chanting the holy name of Govinda, all of his sins will be burned into ashes. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.14, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.15, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.18, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.13.8. Vartamanantu yat papam, yad bhutam yad bhavishyati, tat sarvam nirdayatyasu Govinda analakirtanat. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.339 Laghu Bhagavat. Whatever sins one has acquired presently, in the past, or in the future, are all turned into ashes by chanting the fiery holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parak Chandrayana Tapta Kruchrair na Dehi Suddhir Bhavatiha Tadruk Kalau Sakrun Madhava Kirtanena Govinda Namana Bhavati Hayadruk. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.374 Brahmanda Purana. In Kali Yuga, if somebody chants the holy name of Madhava, says Govinda, Govinda, whatever sins which are removed from one's body, it is difficult to remove that many sins by fasting. Paraka, a short duration of fasting. Chandrayana fasting, performing great austerities and observing many vows of spirituality. That much purity is not attained from such activities. Govindeti mudayaktaha kirtayed yastu ananyadhihi pavanena cha dhanyena taneyam prithvi dhruta. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.349 Laghu Bhagavat. If, with a pleasing attitude, any person chants the holy name of Govinda, he is glorified, purified, and he helps the whole world to be liberated. Na sambha vyadhijam dukkham heyam nanya vasadhairapi harinama aushadham pitva yadhistyajyo na samshayaha. Yadhistyajyo na samshayaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.354 Parashara Samhita. Sri Vyasa speaks to Samba. If somebody cannot remove the misery caused by disease by taking prescribed medicine, then by chanting the name of Lord Hari and continuing taking medicine, one can remove his disease. Of this there is no doubt. Srimad Bhagavatam 12:12-48. Artha Vishanna Sidhilancha Bhita Goreshu Chavyadishu Vartamana Sankircha Narayana Sabdamatram Mukhya Mukha Sukhino Bhavanti. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.360 Vishnu Dharmottara. Any person who is disturbed due to sadness or who is miserable due to intolerable poverty, he has a broken limb in his body, or he is fearful from his enemies, or he is suffering from a chronic disease, he should always chant the holy name of Lord Narayana, and he will become free from all miseries. Nama Sankirtanam Krutva Shutrut Skalita Adashu Viyogam Sigham Apnoti Sarva Viyogam Sigham Apnoti Sarva Anardhair Na Samshayaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.363 Vishnu Dharmottara. At the time of hiccups or thirst, or at the time of difficulty, if somebody chants the holy name of Lord Hari, he immediately becomes free from all kinds of problems. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2-46. Mama namani lokesmin saddhaya yastu kirtayed tasya aparadha kotistu shamami yeva dasamseha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.375 Vishnu Yamala, spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person in this world who chants my name, even without faith, I forgive 10 million of their acquired offenses without a doubt. Vishnur ekaikanamapi sarva vedadhikam matam tadrung nama sahasrena ramanama samam smrutam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.380 Padma Purana. One name of Lord Sri Vishnu rewards more results than the study of Vedic literatures. Furthermore, one name of Lord Rama is equal to 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7. Te dhanyaste krutardhascha taireva sukridam krutam tairapiyam janmanah prapyam ye kale kirtayanti mam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.394 Varaha Purana. Those people are glorified and liberated and have performed all kinds of meritorious functions and have achieved anything to be achieved in a lifetime who chants my glories at fixed times. Sanatana Goswami says the fixed times are wedding times, etc., are also in unclean times. Tadha chaivottamam loke tapasri harikirtanam kalau yuge visheshena Vishnu prichaihi samacharet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.397 Skanda Purana. Chanting the holy name of Lord Sri Hari is the topmost austerity in this world. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, to please Lord Vishnu, one should chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Na desha kala niyamo, na saucha asaucha nirnayaha, param sankirtana deva, Rama Rama iti muchyate. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.411 Vaisvanara Samhita. Anyone who chants the name of Lord Rama, saying Rama, Rama, he gets liberated. There are no hard and fast rules concerning time, place, cleanliness, and uncleanliness, and other circumstances to chant this. Api anya chitto suddho va yas sada kirtayed harim sopi dosha kshayan muktim labhe chedi patir yadha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.418 Brahma Purana. Any person unalloyedly, even in unclean condition, who always chants the holy names of Lord Hari, he achieves liberation which is achieved by the king of Chedi, Sisupala, and all of his faults are forgiven. Prana prayana patheyam samsara vyadhi bheshajam dukkha soka paritranam hirir iti aksharadvayam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.423 Bharata Vibhaga. The two words Ha-ri is the real path of life when the life leaves the body, and the real medicine to become free from the disease of material existence and means to remove distress and lamentation. Sanatana Goswami gives his Digdarshini commentary saying, at the time of giving up one's body, he must create a path for going back to Godhead by chanting the holy name of Lord Hari. This chanting medicine removes the disease of this material existence and gives liberation from this world. One should become free from the miseries of life. In other words, one should look for the solution to become free from the miseries. In other words, one should become free from the miseries of not attaining love of Godhead. To become free from misery means to attain the Vaikuntha planets. Furthermore, what else can be said? This chanting removes the miseries of this world and the next, as stated in Vishnu Dharma. Prahlad Maharaj says this chanting is the real path of the soul. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:19-15. And Srimad Bhagavatam 6:3-24. Srimad Bhagavatam 6:2-49. Ye kirtayanti varadam varapadmanabham Shankabja Chakrasara Chapagadasi Hastam Padmalaya Vadana Pankajasat Padaksham Nunam Prayanti Sadhanam Madhu Ghatinaste. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.4.37 Vamana Purana. Any person who chants the holy name of Lord Hari, who is the benedicting personality, who is addressed as lotus navel, who holds the conch shell, club, disc, and lotus flower, wearing a nice garment, has a bow and arrows, and who has reddish eyes like lotus petals, they certainly attain the spiritual world. Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.51. Ranametat pravruddham me hrudayan napasarpati yad govinda iti chukrosha krishnamam durvasinam. So duravasinam. Krishnamam duravasinam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.4.45 Mahabharata, spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Draupadi called me saying, "Oh Govinda." That is why I became greatly indebted to her. This feeling does not go away from my heart. Srila Sanatana Goswami says in his Digdarshini Tika that when the living entity is away from the Lord, when somebody cries saying, "Oh Govinda," then the Supreme Lord becomes controlled and his heart becomes very attached to him. In other words, the Lord thinks of his crying devotee. Jitantena iti nishchitam jinvagre vartate yasya harir iti aksharadvayam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.1.4.49 Vishnu Dharma, spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. If anyone has two syllables, ha and ri, on the tip of his tongue, he has undoubtedly, certainly controlled Lord Hari. Madhuram etam mangalam mangalam sakala nigama valli satphalam chit swarupam sukrudapi bhrit parigitam Siddhaya helaya va bhruguvara naramatram tatrayet Krishna nama. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.4.51 Prabhaskanda, quoted from Skanda Purana and Padma Purana. O descendants of Bhrugu, the chanting of the holy names of Krishna is the sweetest of the sweetest, the most auspicious of auspicious things, and is the eternal fruit of the sacred wine, essence of sacred Vedas, and is transcendental. If somebody chants with faith or disrespect even once, it can deliver all humankind. Dhayan krute yajan yagnais tretayam dvaparechyayan yadapnoti tavapnoti kalau sankirtya keshavam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.4.56 Vishnu Purana. In Satya Yuga there was meditation. In Treta Yuga there was fire sacrifices. Whatever result was attained in Dwapara Yuga by worshipping Lord Hari, in Kali Yuga they achieved the same result by chanting the holy name of Lord Sri Hari. Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.52 and Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Mahabhagavata Nityam Kalau Kurvanti Kirtanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.4.59 Skanda Purana. Greatly advanced personalities certainly daily chant the holy name of Lord Hari in Kali Yuga. Namayuktan janan društva snigdho bhavati yo naraha sayati paramam sthanam Vishnuna saha modate. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.470 Adi Purana. Conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Any person, by seeing a devotee who is engaged in chanting, becomes very pleased, and he achieves the transcendental abode, the spiritual world, and enjoys with Lord Sri Vishnu. Sahasranamnam punyanam triravrucha tu yatphalam ekavrucha tu krishnasya nama ekam tat prayachati. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.488 Brahmanda Purana. Whatever results one attains by chanting 1000 pure names of Lord Vishnu, the same is attained by chanting one name of the direct incarnations of Krishna. Krishna Krishna iti Krishna iti yo mam smarati nichasaha jalam bhitva yadha padmam narakat uddharayamyaham. Narakam uddharayamyaham. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.496 Nrishinga Purana, spoken by Supreme Lord. Any person who chants my name, saying Krishna, 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 I remove him from the hellish condition of life as the lotus flower comes up through the water. Namnam mukhyataram nama Krishnakhyam ne param tapaha prayaschittam aseshanam papanam mochakam param. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.498 Prabhasa Purana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead spoke to Narada Muni. O austere sage, among all of my names, Krishna is the best. This name cleans up all of one's sins and gives liberation in this world to one. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.24. Om asya jananto nama chid viviktana mahaste Vishnu sumatim bhajamahe. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.5.10 from Shruti. O Lord Vishnu, we will seriously chant your holy names, which is full of knowledge, full of pleasure, and gives good intelligence. Ardhavada harer namni sambhavayati yo naraha sapapishto manushanam niraye patati sputam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.5.4 Kachayana Samhita. Any person who thinks to give his own interpretation about the holy name of Lord Hari, among all kinds of men, this man is the most sinful. Sruti-smriti Puraneshu Nama Mahatmi Vachishu Yerthavada iti bruyurna Tesham nirayakshaya chayaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.5.16 Jaimini Samhita. Any person who gives his own interpretation on the glories of the holy name of the Supreme Lord and on the Shruti and Smriti scriptures and says that they are not facts, they never become free from hellish suffering conditions. Haredapi apradhanya kuryad dipat panshanaha namashraya kadachit syat tarachyeva sanamataha namnopi sarva suhrudohi aparadhat patacyasaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.5.20 Padma Purana. Sanat Kumara instructs Narada Muni. If the lowest of mankind commits offenses at the lotus feet of Lord Hari, but then takes shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Hari and chants his holy name, all offenses are nullified. Therefore, if someone commits offenses to the Lord's holy name, he goes to suffer in the hellish planets without a doubt. Quote the Sanskrit verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita about the 10 offenses. Jate nama paradhepi pramadena kadhanchana sada sankirtayan nama tadeka sharano bhavet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11.5.25 Padma Purana. Sanat Kumara instructs Narada Muni. Due to unconsciousness or due to certain reasons, if somebody accumulates offenses against the holy name, he should engage himself in always chanting the holy names of Lord Hari to become free from such offenses. Janmantra sahasreshu tapojnana samadhibihi naranam kshina papanam Krishne bhakti prajayate. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 532, Yoga Vasistha. Any person who has removed all of his sins after performing austerity and acquiring knowledge for thousands of births, they attain the opportunity of doing devotional service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 7.28, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.15, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Kim tasya bahuvir mantraihi, shastrai kim bahu vistaraihi, Vajapeya sahasrai kim bhaktir yasya janardhane. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 560, Padma Purana. If somebody has developed fixed and determined devotion to Lord Sri Krishna, then what is the need of his chanting different mantras and japa, or studying different kinds of scriptures, or performing thousands of horse sacrifice vows? Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.39. Apacham dravinam dara, haraharmyam haya gajaha, sukhani swargamokshaucha, nadure haribhaktitaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 571, Padma Purana, conversation between Yamaraj and a Brahmana. Nothing is rare to a person who performs devotional service to Lord Hari, such as sons, wealth, necklaces, wife, house, horse, elephants, heaven, and liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-7, Srimad Bhagavatam 2-3-10. Patreshu pushpeshu phaleshu toye, Sakrita labhyeshu sadaiva satsu, Bhaktya sulabhye purushe purane, Muktau kimardham kriyate prayatnaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 583, Nishinga Purana. Just as a person can pay money and easily buy leaves, flowers, fruit, and water, in the very way, by executing devotional service, one is able to obtain the most ancient personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, what is the need for him to look for liberation? Sarvadeva Mayo Vishnu Saranarthi Pranashanaha Swabhakta Vatsalo Devo Bhaktya Tushanti Na Anyatha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 11, 589, Brihannaradaya Purana. The personality of Godhead who removes the miseries of persons, who takes shelter at his lotus feet. The personality of Godhead who gives pleasure to his devotees, who is the source of all the demigods, Lord Hari, can only be pleased by doing devotional service unto him. There is no other process to please him. Bhagavad Gita 11.54, Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.20 and 11.14.21, 1 and 2 of 21st sloka. Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.67. We're going to continue Vilasa 12. Vilasa 12. Sukleva yadiva Krishne tadvratam Vaishnavam Mahat. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.5, Matsya Purana and Bhavishya Purana. Anybody who fasts on both Ekadasis, on both the light and dark fortnights of the month, and eats on the next day, Dwadasi, Lord Sri Krishna becomes very pleased with him. Ekadasyam na bhunjita pratamaetadhi Vaishnamo. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.6, Agni Purana. Full eating is condemned on Ekadasi, and fasting is certainly on that day is certainly very pleasing to Lord Krishna. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Sudranam Chaiva Yoshitam Mokshadam Kurvatam Bhaktya Vishnu Priyataram Dvijaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.7, Brihannaradaya Purana. O Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, whosoever one may be, to fast on Ekadasi with full devotion, he will certainly achieve liberation. Ekadasyam na bhunjita kadachit api manavaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.15, Vishnu Smriti. A human being should never eat on Ekadasi day. Ekadasyam na bhunjiya naridrushte rajasyapi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.16, Srungi Rishi. Even if a woman is going through menstruation, she should not eat on Ekadasi. Vaishnavo yadi bhunjita ekadasyam pramadataha Vishna archanam vrutha tasya narakam ghoram apnuya. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1232 Gautamiya Tantra. If due to bewilderment a Vaishnava eats grains on Ekadasi day, then whatever merit has attained by worshipping Lord Sri Vishnu becomes fruitless and he falls into hell. Samadaya vidhanena dvadashi vratam uttamam tasya bhangam narakrutva rauravam narakam vrajet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1233 Vishnu Rahasya. If after taking a vow to observe Dvadashi, Ekadashi, if one breaks it, he falls into a grievous hell known as Raurava. Vidhavaya bhaven nari bhunjita Ekadashi dine tasyastu sukritam nashyet bhrunahaccha dine dine. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1234 Kachayana Smriti. Any widow, if she eats grains on the Ekadasi day, she becomes bereft of all of her merits, and she suffers the sin of performing an abortion daily. Yadha Sukla Tadha Krishna Tatetara Tulyete Manute Yastu Sabai Vaishnava Uchete. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1254 Tattva Sagara. Both the Ekadashi from the light fortnight and the one from the dark fortnight are equally powerful. Any person who thinks that both Ekadashi are equal are addressed as Vaishnavas. Shener Vare Raver Vare Sankrantyam Grahane Picha Tyajya na Ekadashi Rajan Sarvadeivati Nisheha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1263 Devala Rishi. O king, one should never give up fasting on Ekadashi, even if it falls on Saturday, Sunday, and on and eclipse day, or on Sankranti day. Vananam ashramanam cha strinam cha varavarnini Ekadashi upavasastu kartavyo na atra samshayaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1274 Padma Purana Uttarakhanda. Conversation between Lord Shiva and Parvati. O dear wife, among all kinds of social and spiritual orders, or even women, everyone should fast on Ekadasi day. Of this there is no doubt. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks in his Digdarshini Tika commentary, everyone should fast on such an auspicious day as Ekadasi. Everyone among all social and spiritual orders are said to be authorized to fast on this day. Even Grihasthas, previously as it is said, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas and Sudras, and even women should fast. And furthermore, men and women should fast. Sudras, even women, have not been rejected to fast on Ekadasi. Specifically, even a widow, and with his wife and his son, either a married or unmarried woman, are authorized to fast. As Manu Maharaja says, there is no authorization for a woman to separately perform a fire sacrifice, any fasting. Lord Vishnu says, if any woman's husband is alive and she fasts without asking him, she reduces the duration of life of her husband and attains hell herself. This means a woman has to take her husband's permission to perform auspicious functions. Therefore, it is advised in the Sankalikita scripture, a woman should begin taking vows for spiritual functions and fasting by the order of her husband. Therefore, a Vaishnava understands that a Grihastha should fast with his wife and children. A Vaishnava should automatically understand this statement regarding women. As stated in Rukmangala, he should fast with his children, wife, and relatives together on the Ekadasi day. Astavarshadhiko marcho apurna asiti vatsara Ekadasyam upavaset pakshayor uphayorapi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1275 Kachayana Smriti. From the age of 8 to the age of 80, a person should fast on all of the Ekadasis on both the light and the dark parts of the month. Vaishnavo Vadha Sevo Vakuryad Ekadasi Vratam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1278 Vishnu Dharmottara. Whether one is a Vaishnava or a Saivite, everyone should fast on Ekadasi day. Eka bhuktena naktena bala vruddha atura kshipayet payo mula falair vapi na nirdvad asiko bhavet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1291 Markandeya Purana. A child, an old man, or a person unable to fast can take something to eat in the evening or once in the day, whether it be milk, fruit, or water, but should properly follow the Ekadasi fast. One should not give up fasting on Ekadasi. Vyadhibhik paribhutanam pitta adhika sharirinam trinshad varshadhika namcha naktadi parikalpanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1293 Bodhayana Smriti. Any person who is diseased or who is dominated by bile or who has aged more than 30 years after householder life, they are advised to eat in the evening on the Ekadasi day. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks stating that aging more than 30 years means after household life ends. This is understood to be around 60 years of age. So 30 years added to that is 90 years. Furthermore, one should go to the forest at the age of 50. According to this statement, a Grihastha's life is said to be 50 years. That is, he has decided to live in his family life until the age of 50. Even then, if one adds 30 years, it becomes 80 years. Therefore, fasting is recommended until a minimum age of 80. Asta etani avrutagnani apomolam phalam payaha havir brahmana kamyacha gurur vachanam aushadham. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 1200 Mahabharat Ujjama Parva. Water, fruits, roots, milk, ghee, the request of a Brahmana and the order of a spiritual master and medicine do not wane one's fast. Aduthane mat shaine mat parshva parivartane atroko dikshita kaschid Vaishnavo bhakti tatpraha annam va yadi bhunjita phalamulam adhapiva apradham aham tasya nakshmami kadachana Shipami narake ghore yavad ahuta samplavam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 101, 102. Kashyapa Pancharatra. Spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee who is properly initiated and doing devotional service, if he eats on my awakening day, sleeping day, or turning side day of Ekadasi days, whether he eats grains or fruits or roots, I never forgive him for his offense and keep them in a ferocious hell until the end of annihilation of this material world. Mat shayane maduthane mat parshva parivartane phalamula jalaharik hrudisalyam mama arpayet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 103. Whether one takes fruits, roots, or even water on my sleeping day, or my turning over on my side day of Ekadashis, he pierces my heart with a sharp spear. Amayasya maharogat dukkhinam sarvadehinam ekadashim upavasoyam nirmitam parama aushadham. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 110, Tattvasagara. This Ekadashi day was created as the supreme medicine to remove the disease of material world of having a miserable material body and minds. Tavat papani dehesmin tishtanti manujadhipa yavat na upavaset jantu padmanabha dinam subham. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 104, Narada Purana, spoken by Vasishtha Muni. As long as one does not fast on Ekadasi, the day of Lord Hari, who has a lotus navel, until that long, all of the sins remain in one's body. Naganga na gaya bhupa na kasi na cha pushkaram, na cha api kauravam kshetram, na reva, na cha vedika, yamuna chandrabhaga cha tulya bhupa harer dinat, chintamani samahyesha, adhavapi nidhismruta, kalpapadapa prekshava, sarva veda upamadhava. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 119, 120, Narada Purana, spoken by Vasishtha Muni. Neither Ganga, Gaya, Kashi, Pushkara, Kurukshetra, Reva, Vedika, Yamuna, and Chandrabhaga, none of them are equal to the day of Lord Hari Ekadashi. O king, even if one fasts on Ekadashi unknown to others, all of his sins are at once burnt, and he easily attains the spiritual world. Evam samasta sukha dharma gunashrayincha ekadashi vratamidam kaliketuruktaha shastreshu saunaka jagat patishu priyancha श्रद्धापरा प्रकुरुते लभते न मुक्तम न मुक्तिम श्रद्धापरा प्रकुरुते लभते न मुक्तिम Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:137 Brahma Vaivarta Purana. O Saunaka, Ekadasi, which is the source of happiness, religiosity, and good qualities, which is the topmost meritorious day, which is the most dear day to the Supreme Lord, the Lord of the universe. Anybody who takes a vow to fast on this day becomes eligible to completely liberated from this material world. Srila Sanatana Goswami comments on this verse as follows. The word Kali-ketu means the topmost meritorious day. Ketu, that which is the source of all kinds of happiness. It is stated by all scriptures to fulfill all of one's desires. Na ashwamedha sahasraischa tirthakoti avagahanaihi yat phalam prapyate vatsa dvadasi vasare krute. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:164 Skanda Purana. Conversation between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni. O son Narada, whatever merit one achieves by fasting on Dwadasi day, one cannot achieve either by performing a horse sacrifice or by going to millions of places of pilgrimage to take bath. Na bhavet manasi pida, rogas chetyanta dukkhada, mahatmyam patatah pumso dwadasi sambhavam kalau. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:170 Skanda Purana. Conversation between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni. In Kali Yuga, if somebody studies the glories of Dwadasi, Ekadashi, on Ekadashi day, they do not suffer with mental problems and physical disease. Ekadashi vratad anyad, yad vratam kriyate naraihi, tat phalam tad vijaniyad, dukho adbhutam iva ankuram. Dukho adbhutam iva ankuram. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:178 spoken by Sanat Kumara. Any person who does not fast on Ekadashi and observes other days' fast, he suffers the miseries of performing fast, but does not attain sufficient results, or they only achieve difficulties from fasting and nothing else. Ekatascha agni hotradi dvadashim ekatah prabhu tulaya taulayat tatra dvadashi cha vishishyate. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:179 Sauradharma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead once took a measuring scale and on one side put sacrifices, austerities, etc. And on the other side, Dwadasi day, and found that Dwadasi is more meritorious. Ekadashi vratam yastu bhaktiman kurute naraha sarva papa vinirmuktaha sa Vishnur yat mandiram. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:192 Vayu Purana. Any person who observes on Ekadashi fast with devotion becomes free from all difficulties and sins, and after becoming purified, attains the abode of Lord Vishnu. Yakaroti naro bhaktya ekadashyam uposanam seti Vishnu salokyam prapya Vishnu sarupatam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:197 Sirapurana. Any person who fasts on Ekadashi with devotion, he attains the same form as Vishnu and goes to his abode and lives with him. Ekadashi cha sampurna vidheti dvividha smruta vidha cha dvividha yat tatra chajja vidha tu purvaja. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:199 Sivapurana. There are two divisions of Ekadashis, the complete Ekadashi and the overlapping Ekadashi. The overlapping Ekadashis are also divided into two, begin overlapping and end overlapping. The beginning overlapping should always be given out. Ekadashim upavase dvadashim Adhva punaha vimishram vapi kurvita na dashamya yutam kvachit. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.202 Sauradharmottara. Ekadashi and Dwadasi are both qualified for fasting. Furthermore, one should fast when Ekadasi is combined with Dwadasi. But one should never fast when Ekadasi is combined with Dashami. Na uposya Dashami vidha sadaiva Ekadashi tidhi samuposya naro jakhyat punyam varsha setodbhavam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.205 Narada Purana. One should never fast on the days when Ekadashi is overlapped with Dashami. If one does so, loses whatever merit he had accumulated for 100 years. Purvam taya sabharyena dashami seva samyuta krutaja ekadashi rajan tasya idam karanam matam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.211 Brahma Purana. Maitreya speaks to Dhritarashtra in answer to his question as to why all of his 100 sons had been killed. O king, previously you along with your wife had fasted on an Ekadasi which was overlapped with Dashami day. Therefore, you are suffering the separation of all of your sons. Dasham Ekadashim Purvam Samuposya Janardhanaha Abhyarchitas Tvaya Devi Tasyeda Karmana Phalam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.214 Brahma Purana. Valmiki Muni answered Mother Sita's questions. She had asked him why she had been vanquished to the forest by Lord Rama. Previously, you had observed an Ekadasi fast which was overlapped with Dashami and worshipped Lord Sri Hari. This is the result which you are experiencing now. Dashami Sesha Samyuktam Yakkaroti Vimudadhihi Ekadasi Phalam Tasya Nasya Dvadasha Varshikam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.218 Kurma Purana, Narada Purana, and Vishnu Rahasya. Those foolish persons who fast an Ekadasi which is mixed with Dashami, he does receive any result. He does receive any result for performing Ekadashi fast for the past 12 years. Gangodakasya Sampurnam Yadhachayam Ghatam Bhavet Suravindu Samyuktam Tat Sarvam Majjatam Vrajet. Sarvam Majjatam Vrajet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.223 Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Just as a cup of Ganges water which has been mixed with a drop of wine is fit for giving up, in the same way, an Ekadashi which has been minutely mixed with Dashami is fit for giving up. Vidham Ekadasim Vipras Chajanchetam Manishinaha Tasyam Uposito Yati Daridriyam Dukhamevacha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.226 Garuda Purana. O Brahmanas, learned souls reject Ekadasi which are mixed with Dashami because they know that if they fast on this day, they will only get poverty and misery. Dvaparante tu Gandhari Kuruvamsha Vivardhini Karishyati cha Senani Mudha Bhavet Sikidvaja Tena Putra Satam Tasya Nasham Ishyati Samshayam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.228 Skanda Purana. O commander and chief of the demigods, Skanda, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Gandhari, who will increase the Guru dynasty by producing 100 sons, due to bewilderment and madness, she will observe Ekadasi, which will be mixed with Dasami. Due to this, her 100 sons will be destroyed. Of this, there is no doubt. Dashami Ekadashi yatra tatra sannihito suraha. Dwadashi Ekadashi yatra tatra sannihito harihi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.230 Skanda Purana. The demons reside in any Ekadasi which is overlapped with Dashami, and whoever fasts on this day achieves negative results. Lord Hari resides in any Ekadasi which is overlapped with Dwadasi. If someone observes fasting on this day, he receives complete results, which is proper. Ye shamshati dinam Vishnu dasmi vedha dushitam gneyeste papa purushaha sukramaya vimohitaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.234 Skanda Purana, conversation between Lord Shiva and Uma Devi. Any person who fasts an Ekadasi which is contaminated by Dashami or makes somebody else fast, he has been controlled and bewildered by Sukracharya, the spiritual master of the demons. This should be understood properly. Ekadashmi Dashmi Vidha Dhana Sanatana Nashini Dhanchini Sarvapunyanam Krishna Bhakti Pranashini. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 39 Skanda Purana. Dwadasi or Ekadashi, if it overlaps Dashami, it ruins one's offspring of one who fasts on those days and ruins the merit of all time and takes away the devotional service to the Lord and gives him a birth among the Devis or ghosts. Dasami Shesa Samyuktam Nishiddham Vishnuna Pura Tasmat Bhagavatair Bhupa Sodhayitva Harer Dinam Uposhitavyam Yatnena Purvasangati Vajitam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 44 Skanda Purana. Markandeya Rishi speaks to King Bhagiraha. O King, previously the Supreme Lord Vishnu prohibited one to fast when the Ekadasi overlapped Dashami. Therefore, the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should endeavor to reject the Ekadasi which overlaps Dashami and observe a pure Ekadasi fast. Kurite Vaishnavo Bhutva Sa Selyaika Dasi Vratam Jnanato Ajnanato Vapi Nasa Vishnu Priyo Bhavet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 46 Skanda Purana. Any person who is a Vaishnava, who knowingly or unknowingly observes Ekadasi overlapped with Dashami, should certainly understand that Lord Sri Vishnu will not be happy with him. Tasmad Ekadashi Yukta Dashamya Narasattama Nakartavya Prayatnena Nishkala Dwadashi Mata. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 48 Skanda Purana. Therefore, O best among human beings, it is not recommended to observe Ekadasi overlapped with Dashami. Great sages have recommended and stated to you to observe only pure Ekadasi fast. Punyam Susanchitam Yati Kalpakoti Sata Arjitam Sasalyam Ye Prakurvanti Mukdam Mama Vasaram. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 53 Dwarika Mahatmya, spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person who fasts on the liberating day of mind, but which is mixed with Dashami, their collective merit for the past 100 cycles, one cycle equals 1000 yugas, is destroyed. Savidham vasaram yasmat krutam mama pitamahaihi pretatvam tena sampraptam mahadukha pradayakam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 56 Dwarika Mahatmya. Sri Chandra Sharma prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, my forefathers had observed the day of Lord Hari fast sometime on the Dashami day. This is why they have achieved the form of ghost, which is a very miserable condition. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks in this Digdarshani Tika. Chandra Sharma Brahmana was a devotee of Lord Shiva and was against the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Somehow in a dream, he saw that his forefathers had achieved the form of ghosts due to observing fasting on the overlapping day of Ekadashi and Dashami. Then he was advised by a devotee of the Lord to go to Dwaraka, near the Supreme Person of Godhead, and worshipped him and prayed to him to please free his forefathers from this devilish condition. The Lord then freed them because of his prayers. Sukrena mohita vipra daityanam karanena tu pushti adnadam dashami viddham kurvanti mama vasaram dashmi viddham daityanam pushti vardhanam madiyam nasti sandehaha satyam pitamaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12 to 57 to 58 Padma Purana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead speaks to Lord Brahma. O Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Brahma, the Brahmana bewildered by the illusion created by Sukracharya fast on the Dashami mixed Ekadasi to enhance the strength of demons. My day, Ekadasi, influenced by Dashmi day, increases the strength of demons. I repeated and truthfully say this. Of this, there is no doubt. यावद्दशम्य संयुक्तं करिष्यन्ति दिनं मम तत्पुण्यं दैत्यजातीनां सुरैर्दत्तं पितामह तेह पुण्येन सम्पुष्टो हिरण्याक्षा पितामह निर्जित्या वसवं सांख्ये हृतं राज्यं दिवौकसाम् Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:259-260 Padma Purana Conversation between the Supreme Person of Godhead and Lord Brahma. O Grandfather of the world, as long as somebody fasts on Ekadasi mixed with Dashami, the demigods extend their merits to the demons. Therefore, the demon Hiranyaksha becomes strong due to that merit and defeated Indra in the battle and usurped the kingdom of the demigods. Purna Vidham upaste ko Nandam Veda Baladapi ko Veda Vachanat Tata Ghoshave Gam Nihanti Vai. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:268, Bhavishya Purana and Markandeya Purana. O son, after knowing the instruction about fasting on Dasami, who is that person who would like to fast on Ekadasi, which overlaps Dashami? Who would be those persons after hearing Vedic instructions who would kill cows in the name of worshipping cows? Supunya Ekadasi Suta Yadi Salya Vivarjita Kratur Niraya Pataya Sashalya Samuposita Salyam Vedha Iti Puraktam Puranartha Vichakshanaihi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:270 Kurma Purana and Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Srila Vyasadeva speaks to Sutta Goswami. O Sutta Goswami, if somebody strictly observes a pure Ekadasi which is not mixed with Dashami, it is all auspicious. If Ekadasi is mixed with Dashami and is observed, then the observer who is fasting makes him fall into the hellish planets. Therefore, the learned people, the knowers of Vedic literatures, have determined this fasting to be improper. Dvayor vivadato srutva dvadashim samuposhayet pranantu trayodashyam esha shastra vinirnayaha dvadasi dashmi yukta yatasat shastre pratisthita natat shastram aham manye yadi brahma swayam vadet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:277-278 Kurma Purana. Srila Vyasadeva speaks to Sutta Goswami. If there are two people arguing, and due to that argument and unsteady opinions, the exact date of Ekadasi cannot be determined, then hearing this, one should fast on Dwadasi day and break fast on Trayodasi. This is the scriptural instruction. If any scripture recommends to observe Ekadasi mixed with Dashami, even if Lord Brahma is the writer of that scripture, I, Vyasadeva, do not accept it. Cheyevapi adhava vruddhau samprapte va dinatraye uposha dvadashi suddha trayo dashyantu paranam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:286 Narada Purana. If there is a reduced day in the fortnight or increase of a day, or if there are 3 days combined, then one should fast on a pure Dwadasi day and break the fast on Trayodasi. Urdham haridinam nasya dvadashim grahayet tataha dvadashim upavasotra trayodashyantu paranam evam kurvan naro bhaktya vishnu sayujyam apnuyat anyatha kurite yastu sayati narakam dhruvam ekadasi rishinam tu dvadashi chakrapaninaha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12:293-295 Skanda Purana. If Ekadasi appears to be Dashami, it is not called the day of Lord Hari. Therefore, Dwadasi is to be accepted for fasting, and one should then break fast on Trayodasi. If one follows this process with devotion, then the fasting person goes to live in the Lord's abode after liberation. If one does otherwise, he falls into the hellish planets, because Ekadasi is the day of the sages and purified Ekadasi with Dwadasi is the day of Lord Hari. Udayat prak yada vipra muhurta dvaya samyuta sampurna Ekadasi nama tatraiva upavased gruhi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.16, Garuda Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Sivarahasya. O Brahmana, 96 minutes before sunrise, if there is an Ekadasi available, it is called a complete and pure Ekadasi. On this Ekadasi, even every householder should fast. Ata eva parityajya samayecha arunodaye dashmi ekadashi viddha vainavena visheshataha. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.18 Bhavishya Purana. Therefore, one should give up Ekadasi which is combined with Dashami, even if it is available before sunrise. Specifically, Vaishnava should always reject Ekadasis which overlap Dashamis. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks in his Digdarshani Tika that if Ekadasi is mixed with the previous day, even 96 minutes before sunrise, it is said to be an unwanted Ekadasi, because it is an Ekadasi which overlaps with Dashami. It does not matter what moment before sunrise Ekadasi is overlapping. Dashami is to always be given up. It does not matter what moment before sunrise Ekadasi is overlapping Dashami. It should always be given up, especially by Vaishnavas. The duty of a Vaishnava is to reject the mixed Ekadasi of the previous day. Such a statement as this from the Bhavishya Purana is meant specifically for Vaishnavas. It may be found somewhere else that for Saivites and others, it may be found that they can observe on Ekadasi mixed with the previous day. Arunodaya Velayam Dashmi Samyuta Yadi Atra Uposha Dwadasi Syat Trayodashantu Paranam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.19 Kanvarushi. If before sunrise, Dashami is mixed with Ekadasi, one should fast on Dwadasi and break fast on Trayodasi. Utayat pran muhurtena vyapini Ekadasi yada samyukta Ekadasi nama varjaye dharma urdhaye. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.22 Garuda Purana. Even if Ekadasi is available 48 minutes before sunrise, still it is said to be mixed with the previous day. People who are interested to increase their merit should give up fasting on such Ekadasis. Dasami Sesha Samyukto Yadisyat Arunodayaha Vaishnavena na Kartavyam Tad Dinaik Ekadasi Vratam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.36 Bhavishya Purana. At the time of sunrise, if Ekadasi is available, a Vaishnava should not fast on that Ekadasi. Ardharatram Adikramya Dashmi Yadik Drishate Tadahi Ekadasim Tyaktva Dwadashim Samuposhayet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.54 Kurma Purana. If Dashmi day passes over midnight, then one should give up fasting on that Ekadasi, but fast on Dwadasi day. Sampurna Ekadashi yatra prabhate punar evasa Vaishnavi cha trayodasyam ghatikai kapi drishyate gruhastopi param kuryat purvana upavaset tada. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.60 Garuda Purana. If there is a complete Ekadasi available, which begins from dawn and carries on until the next day, which due to extension, it continued until sunrise the next day, it is better to perform Ekadasi on the next day. And this is the duty of both the Grihastha or the Sannyasi, to not follow the previous day Ekadasi. Dwadasi Mishrita Grahya Sarvatra Ekadasi Tidhi Dwadasi cha Trayodasyam Vidyate Yadi Vanava. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.62 Padma Purana. It does not matter if Ekadasi is touching the Trayadashi or not, but Ekadashi mixed with Dwadasi should be observed among all other fasts. Ekadashi Kalayatra Parato Dwadashi Nachet Tatra Krutu Satam Punyam Trayodasyam Tu Paranam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.3.65 Skanda Purana. Even if for a moment Ekadasi is available on Dwadasi day and Dwadasi is not touching the Trayodasi day, one should fast on Dwadasi and break fast on Trayodasi. This fast brings the results of performing 100 sacrifices. Ekadasi Kala Yukta Uposya Dwadasi Naraihi Trayodashantu Yo Bhunkte Tasya Vishnu Prasidati. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.377 Bodhayana Smriti. Human beings are desired to observe Dwadasi fast, which is mixed with Ekadasi, and break fast on Trayodasi. If they do so, Lord Sri Vishnu becomes pleased with them. Ekadasi bhavet purna parato Dwadasi yada tadahi Ekadashim tyaktva Dwadasyam samuposhayet. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.372 Skanda Purana. Although Ekadasi is complete, which began from dawn, and also Dwadasi is complete, which mixes with Trayodasi, even for a few moments, then one should not fast on Ekadasi, but should fast on Dwadasi day. Ekadasi tu sampurna parato Dwadasi bhavet uposya Dwadasi tatra tirivirdhihi prasachyate. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.373 Kalika Puran. Even if Ekadasi is a complete day and Dwadasi being extended, then one should fast on Dwadasi. This is called extended fasting. Sampurna Ekadasi tyajya parato Dwadasi yadi uposya Dwadasi suddha Dwadasyam eva paranam nagarbhe vishate jantur iti aha Bhagavan Harihi. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.376 Bhagavatadi Tantra. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, if Dwadasi combines even for a moment in Trayodasi, one should give up a complete day of Ekadasi fast and fast on Dwadasi. If someone does fast like this, then that fasting person does not need to take another birth in the material world. Ekadasi Dwadasi cha Ratriseshe Trayodasi Tribhirmisha Tidhi Prokta Sarva Papa Harasmrta. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.378 Kurma Purana. If Ekadasi and Dwadasi fall in one day, and at night Trayodasi is combined. In other words, there are 3 days combined in day and night. It is called Trispurusha. This tithi or day is said to be removing sins. Trispurusha Ekadasi yatra tatra sannihito harihi tameva upovaset kami akamo Vishnu tatpara. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.380 Kurma Purana. Where there is Trispurusha Ekadasi, where Lord Hari himself resides, both the devotees who are full of desires and those who are desirous should fast on this Trispurusha Mahadvadasi. Srila Sanatana Goswami has given his Digdarshini commentary saying, it is said that when Ekadasi, Dwadasi and the end of the night are combined, Trayodasi, one should perform fast with his sons, grandsons and all of his family members. This is because whether one is full of desires, desiring wealth, sons or many other things, or he is a desireless Vaishnava who is interested to please the Supreme Lord, who is desirous for liberation, but one who is interested to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu is called a Vaishnava. All of them should observe this Trispurusha Ekadasi fast. By doing so, one becomes free from the sin of killing a Brahmana, etc. He becomes free from all kinds of miseries acquired from different births and attains the merit of performing sacrifices too. This fasting is the source of auspiciousness and increases one's merit. Therefore, one should accept it. Puracha Ekadashi Swalpa Ante Chaiva Trayodashi Sampurna Dwadashi Mache Trispurusha Sa Haripriya. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.387 Dwarika Mahatmya. If in the beginning there is a tinge of Ekadasi, in the middle there is a complete Dwadasi day, and at last there is a minute mixture of Trayodasi, that is called Trispurusha Ekadasi, which is very dear to Lord Hari. Suddhaiva Dwadashi Rajan Uposha Moksha Kanchibhihi Paranastu Trayodasyam Pujayitva Janardhanam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12.407 Vishnu Rahasya, spoken by Sri Vyasadeva. O king, those people who are desirous for liberation from this material world observe a purified Dwadasi fast and break it on Trayodasi after properly worshipping Lord Janardana. Srila Sanatana Goswami gives his commentary in his Digdarshini Tika, stating that attaining liberation means to become free from birth, death, etc., which is the bondage in the material world. In other words, anyone who liberates others from the misery, from the maximum misery is called liberation or Lord Sri Vishnu. A real devotee of the Lord is interested in attaining love of Godhead. That is his liberation, and it is his ultimate desire. It has been accepted here that if the day of Vaishnava Dwadasi is not available, then one can worship Lord Sri Janardana on Trayodasi and break one's fast. To break one's fast, it is specifically recommended that even when on Trayodasi, after worshipping the Supreme Lord Sri Janardana, one can break his fast. This is undoubtedly an authorized statement. Idham Shastra Vicharena Sistachara Anushrataha Anusarataha Ekadashi Vyavastheyam Kruta Vaishnava Sammata Vidvansopi Atra Mudhaha Sirvina Krishna Prasadataha Atah Sadasau Nirdharya Prastva Bhagavata Uttamam. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 4, 10, 4, 11, Vishnu Rahasya. In this way, after studying the rules in the scriptures and following the statements of realized souls, Ekadasi, which is pleasing to the Vaishnavas, is established. Unless one has the direct mercy of the Lord, even if he is very learned, it is very difficult to determine the correct days for Ekadasi. Therefore, to perform the Ekadasi fast properly, one should always reach the topmost Vaishnava devotee of the Lord and ask for the exact date. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains in his Digdarshini Tika, stating that the ways for the Vaishnavas and the non-Vaishnavas to determine the exact dates of Ekadasi have been explained here. One should consider the statements of the scriptures, and also he should discuss this with learned personalities as well. One should not just rely on the scriptures, but it is important to also consult the learned souls as well. According to Vaishnava, following Vaishnava Ekadasi is important, not an Ekadasi which has been pierced with the previous day, Dashami day. Even on Ekadasi, if Dwadasi is available, if it is mixed with Dashami, one should completely give it up. Trishpisha Ekadasi, which is free from Dashami, falling in Chaturmasya during one of the dark fortnights, is said to be observable. In essence, a Vaishnava should always be consulted so as to know what to do. Due to the illusory influence of Sukracharya, even the learned scholars who are expert in Vedic literature become bewildered and are unable to determine the exact day for fasting on Ekadasi. Therefore, one should be a devotee who is depending on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the exact way to determine the exact Ekadasi fasting day. Dvadasya nirnaye bhupa modham atra jagatrayam atra mudha mahipala prayaso ye narahpura. Hari-bhakti-vilāsa 12, 4, 1, 2, Vishnu Rahasya. Conversation between Markandeya and King Indrajumna. O king, the three worlds have become bewildered on the subject of establishing the correct day of fasting on Dwadasi. What to speak of the present day? Even in ancient times, great persons were almost bewildered in perfectly determining the correct days for fasting. So we are going to stop here after finishing Vilasa 12, and we need to start Vilasa 13 in the next part. So thank you very much for joining today's reading. We hope you enjoyed the reading, and we also wish that you will be able to join in our next reading. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.